Yo, let's be real for a second. In most shonen anime, strength is simple math. Bigger power levels, bigger sword, bigger energy blast, you win. It's a numbers game. But every now and then, a fight comes along that throws the whole damn calculator out the window. This is one of those fights. On one side, you got Ichigo Kurosaki, a substitute Soul Reaper barely a few months on the job, running on pure, unfiltered teenage angst and desperate need to save his friend. On the other, a monster, a demon, the captain of the 11th Division, Kenpachi Zaraki. A man who doesn't just love to fight, this is his entire reason for existing. So question isn't just who wins. The real question is, how did this rookie even survive the first 5 seconds? The answer isn't about power scaling, it's about philosophy. This wasn't just a battle of swords, it was a battle that redefined the very meaning of strength and bleed. Let's set the scene. Ichigo and the squad have just invaded the Soul Society, the literal afterlife, to stop Rukia's execution. He's already fought a lieutenant, barely scraped by, he's running on fumes, injured and way out of his league. And who does he run into? The one captain nobody wants to see. Kenpachi Zaraki isn't just the captain, he's a force of nature. He comes from
Rukongai,
the violent district in the entire Soul Society. He didn't pass an exam to become the captain. He walked up to the previous captain of Squad 11, killed him in front of his entire division, and took his job. That's his resume. The moment they meet, Ichigo can't even move. Kenpachi's spiritual pressure is so immense, so suffocating, it's like the air itself is trying to crush him. And Kenpachi, he's not even trying. He's just standing there, smiling. The fight begins, and it's a slaughter. Ichigo lands a direct hit on Kenpachi's chest, a blow that should have ended any normal fight. And nothing happens, not a scratch. Kenpachi just looks down, almost disappointed, and lets Ichigo cut him just to feel something. He's not fighting to win, fighting for the thrill. He's willingly taking hits, lets his opponent get a few shots in, all because he's so overwhelmingly powerful that a normal fight is boring to him. And just like it's over, Ichigo is defeated, bleeding out on the ground. By all logic, this is where the story ends for our hero, but this is where the real fight begins. Because this isn't about who can swing a sword harder, it's a fight about how you swing it. To understand how Ichigo comes back from this, you have to understand Kenpachi's entire philosophy. For him, strength is a solo act. It's pure, raw, individual power. Look at his sword. It's not a graceful katana. It's a beat-up, chipped cleaver. Why? Because Kenpachi has never once spoken to his Zanpakuto. He doesn't even know its name. To him, a sword is just a tool, an extension of his arm meant for one thing, cutting. He's so strong on his own that he's never needed to ask for help, not even from the very source of a Soul Reaper's power. In fact, his power is so massive that he has to actively suppress it just to function. That eye patch is not for decoration, it's a special device that constantly eats his spiritual pressure, nerfing him so he doesn't end fights too quickly. The bells in his hair, they're there to give his opponents an audible warning of where he is. This man is so desperate for a good fight that he handicaps himself just to give other people a chance. His strength has made him completely alone, and he hates it. Now, let's look at Ichigo. As he lies dying, he's pulled into his inner world and comes face to face with Zangetsu, the spirit of his Zanpakuto. And Zangetsu hits him with the lesson that changes everything. He asks Ichigo a simple question. What's the difference between him and Kenpachi? It's fear, but not fear of his opponent. It's fear of his own sword. Zangetsu explains that up until now, Ichigo has been treating his sword just like Kenpachi does, as a tool. He's been relying on his own raw talent and spiritual pressure. But a Zanpakuto isn't a simple weapon. It's a living partner, a part of your soul. To unlock its true power, you can't just wield it. You have to trust it. You have to fight together. This is the moment Ichigo's entire understanding of his strength gets flipped on its head. It's not about being a one-man army. It's about unity. It's about accepting the power that's already inside you and working with it. Instead, Ichigo gets back up. He's still injured, still exhausted, but something is different. He's no longer fighting alone. Kenpachi is thrilled. He can feel the change. This is the fight he's been waiting for his entire life. He gets so hyped that he does something he rarely does. He takes off his eye patch, and all hell breaks loose. The full unrestrained power of Kenpachi Zaraki is unleashed. In response, Ichigo, now fighting in sync with Zangetsu, borrows his partner's power, and his own energy explodes to match it. What follows is a clash of pure, unfiltered power. Two golden tidal waves of energy colliding. It's not a sword fight anymore. It's two ideologies smashing into each other. Brute force versus partnership. The man who fights for himself versus the boy who fights with his soul. The dust settles and they're both down. It's a draw, a stalemate. But as Kenpachi lies there, he admits defeat. He says Ichigo won. Why? Because Ichigo, the rookie, forced Kenpachi, the monster, to go all out and still fought him to a standstill. But more importantly, Ichigo's philosophy of strength proved to be just as valid as Kenpachi's. Teamwork and trust were able to match a literal god of raw power. This fight set the stage for the rest of the series. For Ichigo, it was a critical lesson. He learned that to get stronger, he had to look inward and trust the power he already had. It was the foundation of his future growth, from mastering his Bankai to controlling his inner hollow. And for Kenpachi, it was the first crack in his lonely world. The first time someone met him on his level. It planted a seed that would, hundreds of chapters later, lead to finally seeking out the name of his own Zanpakuto, and in doing so, become even more of a monster than we could have ever imagined. This battle wasn't just about who fell first. It was a statement. In a world obsessed with power levels, Ichigo versus Kenpachi proved that true strength isn't just a number. It's a connection. It's trust. And it's knowing you don't have to fight alone. So, there you have it. A fight that was less about power scaling and more about personal growth and philosophy. It's one of the reasons the Soul Society arc is still considered one of the best arcs in shonen history. It took a simple versus battle and turned it into a complex character arc and study. But what do you guys think? Was Ichigo versus Kenpachi the best fight of the arc? Or does his battle with Byakuya take the top spot? And what other anime fights do you think are more about ideas than just punches? Drop your analysis in the comments below. I read them all. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss the next breakdown.